Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like someone in your life is draining you? Like every time you interact with them, you walk away feeling worse? Maybe you can't put your finger on it, but something about them just feels off. You second guess yourself. You feel guilty when you shouldn't. And no matter what you do, they always find a way to make you feel less. That's not an accident. That's not bad luck. That's the effect of a truly toxic person, an evil person. The truth is, not everyone in your life wants the best for you. Some people are there to use you, to control you, to break you down so they can feel powerful. And if you don't recognize them, if you don't see the signs, they will keep winning. They will keep manipulating, keep deceiving, keep holding you back. But not any. Today I'm going to give you 8 clear, undeniable signs that someone in your life is not just toxic, but dangerous, because once you see them, you can't unsee them. And once you know the truth, you take back your power. Let's get into it. They manipulate and twist reality. Manipulation is one of the most dangerous and insidious traits of an evil person because it's designed to keep you confused, controlled, and second-guessing yourself. These people are experts at distorting the truth, twisting facts, and making you doubt your own perception of reality. They don't just lie, they craft a version of events that benefits them while making you feel like you're losing your grip on the truth. A manipulative person will rewrite history right in front of you. If you confront them about something they did, they'll deny it ever happened or twist it in a way that makes them look innocent. They'll say things like, "I never said that," when you clearly remember them saying it, or "You're overreacting," when you're simply reacting to their toxic behavior. They make you question yourself so much that eventually you wonder if maybe you are the problem. This is gaslighting at its finest, and it's designed to break you down so they can maintain control over you. They also use subtle manipulation tactics that seem harmless on the surface but are deeply damaging over time. One example is shifting blame. No matter what happens, somehow it's never their fault. They'll always find a way to pin the blame on you, on circumstances, or on someone else. If they forgot an important event, it's because you didn't remind them. If they hurt your feelings, it's because you're too sensitive. They take no accountability for their actions and make you feel like you're always in the wrong. Another powerful manipulation tool they use is playing the victim. No matter how much pain they've caused, they will find a way to make themselves look like the one who has been wronged. If you call them out on their behavior, suddenly they're the ones crying, acting hurt, and making you feel guilty for even bringing it up. This is a form of emotional manipulation designed to make you back off and doubt your own experiences. They will also isolate you from people who might help you see the truth. If you have a strong support system, a manipulative person sees that as a threat. They know that the more people you have around you who genuinely care, the harder it will be for them to control your perception of reality. So they subtly, or sometimes aggressively, try to turn you against your friends and family. They'll say things like, "I don't think they really have your best interests at heart," or "They're just jealous of you." Over time, you start to see everyone through their lens, and before you know it, they've successfully isolated you. One of the most dangerous things about these types of people is that they often seem completely normal, even charming to the outside world. They know how to put on a mask when necessary, which makes it even harder for you to convince others or even yourself that something is wrong. You might find yourself thinking, maybe I'm just imagining things, or no one else seems to have a problem with them, but behind closed doors, their manipulation is relentless. The longer you are around someone like this, the more they erode your confidence. You start second-guessing your own memory, your own feelings, and your own instincts. This is what they want. They don't just manipulate situations, they manipulate you, and once they have control over how you think, they can control everything else in your life. They enjoy other people's pain. One of the clearest and most disturbing signs of an evil person is their reaction to other people's suffering. A good person feels empathy when they see someone struggling. They want to help, to comfort, to uplift. But a truly toxic, malicious person, they get satisfaction from seeing others in pain. Whether they show it openly or hide it behind fake concern, their true nature is revealed when they witness someone else's misfortune. These people may laugh when someone gets hurt, not out of nervousness or awkwardness, but out of genuine amusement. You'll see a smirk, a glint in their eye, a sense of satisfaction that they don't even bother to hide. They may mock others who are struggling, making cruel jokes about their pain or dismissing their problems as insignificant. They thrive on others' weaknesses because it makes them feel superior. Even if they don't outwardly express joy at someone else's pain, they might feed off it in more subtle ways. They could act concerned about someone's hardships, but secretly enjoy knowing that person is struggling. They may pretend to be sympathetic while subtly spreading gossip about someone's difficulties. Their words might sound caring, but their actions tell a different story. These people also have a way of making bad situations worse for others. If they see someone struggling, they might pile on instead of offering help. Say someone at work is already stressed out, they'll find a way to add to that stress, either by making passive-aggressive comments or by sabotaging their work behind the scenes. They get a rush from knowing they played a part in someone else's failure. One of the most dangerous aspects of this kind of person is their ability to mask their cruelty when needed. In public, they might act like the most caring, compassionate individual. They'll say all the right things, pretend to be supportive, and fool even the most observant people. But behind closed doors, their true nature comes out. They will ridicule, belittle, and tear people down without a second thought. This kind of person will also take advantage of moments when you are vulnerable. Instead of offering a helping hand, they will use your pain against you. If you open up about something that deeply affected you, they will store that information away and use it as ammunition in a future argument. They don't see your struggles as something to support you through. They see them as weaknesses to exploit. In competitive environments, they don't just want to win, they want others to lose. It's not enough for them to succeed, they need to see others fail. They may sabotage coworkers, undermine friends, or spread false rumors just to get ahead. It's not about personal growth or ambition, it's about taking pleasure in knowing someone else is struggling. Another sign to watch for is their reaction when you are in pain. If you're going through a hard time, do they seem genuinely concerned or do they brush it off? Do they make you feel worse instead of better? Do they seem indifferent or worse, entertained? A person who enjoys the suffering of others will never truly be there for you when you need them most. The key thing to remember is that this behavior is not normal. It's not just how they are, it's not harmless, it's a sign of deep-seated cruelty. And if you notice it in someone, you need to take it seriously. They lie constantly. Lying is second nature to truly toxic people. They don't just lie occasionally to get out of trouble or make themselves look better. They lie as a way of life. It's woven into their personality, a tool they use to control situations, manipulate others, and shape the world around them to fit their needs. They don't feel guilt or hesitation when they twist the truth. In fact, many of them get a thrill out of deception. A person like this will lie even when they don't need to. They'll fabricate details about their past, exaggerate their achievements, and make up stories just to see if they can get away with it. They aren't just deceiving others, they're testing how much control they can have over people's perceptions. And once they know someone trusts them, they start weaving bigger and more damaging lies. One of the most dangerous aspects of habitual liars is how convincing they are. They don't stumble over their words, they don't look nervous, and they don't give the usual tells of dishonesty. Instead, they look you in the eye, speak with confidence, and make you feel ridiculous for even questioning them. They are experts at crafting lies that seem completely believable, and they rely on your trust to keep their false narratives intact. They also use lies as a weapon against the people closest to them. They will lie to cover up their mistakes, lie to shift blame onto someone else, and lie to make themselves look like the hero or the victim in any given situation. If they're caught, they won't admit it. Instead, they'll double down, gaslight, and make you feel like you're the one who misunderstood. They'll say things like, "That's not what I said," or "You must be confused," or "I don't know where you're getting that from." Over time, these constant lies make you question your own memory and judgment. A liar of this caliber doesn't just deceive you with words, they manipulate reality itself. They will tell different people different versions of a story, creating confusion and conflict where there shouldn't be any. They'll twist facts, omit key details, and play people against each other, all while pretending they have no idea why there's so much tension around them. They thrive in chaos because it makes them harder to pin down. If you catch them in a lie and confront them, they'll either become defensive and angry or act as if it's no big deal. "I didn't think it mattered," or "It was just a little white lie." But their lies aren't little and they aren't harmless. Every lie serves a purpose, and that purpose is to keep them in control. Some of these people are so deeply dishonest that they start to believe their own lies. They rewrite history in their heads, convincing themselves that events played out in a way that suits them. This is especially dangerous because it means they will never admit wrongdoing, no matter how much proof you have. They can stand in front of undeniable evidence and still deny reality. Another way they use lying as a tool is by making promises they never intend to keep. They will swear they'll change, swear they'll be there for you, swear they're telling the truth this time. But these words mean nothing. They are empty, designed to keep you hopeful just long enough for them to get what they want. They rely on your belief in their potential, your willingness to forgive, and your hope that maybe this time will be different. It won't be. People like this don't just tell lies, they are lies. Their entire existence is built on deception, from their relationships to their careers to the way they present themselves to the world. They will never truly let you in because the person you think you know isn't real. It's just a carefully constructed illusion, one designed to keep them in power while keeping you in the dark. They drain your energy. Some people leave you feeling uplifted, inspired, and energized after spending time with them. Others, they leave you feeling exhausted, depleted, and emotionally drained. These are the people who suck the life out of you, taking and taking without giving anything in return. They don't just require your time and attention, they demand it, absorbing your energy like a parasite while leaving you with nothing but frustration and fatigue. These individuals don't just drain your energy through obvious negativity. Every conversation revolves around their problems, their emotions, their needs. You could be dealing with your own struggles, but somehow the focus is always on them. They don't ask how you're doing, and if they do, it's only so they can quickly turn the conversation back to themselves. Some of them create unnecessary drama just to pull you in. They'll stir up conflicts, gossip, or manufacture crises knowing that you'll step in to help fix things. They rely on your empathy, your kindness, your willingness to be there for them. And before you know it, you're emotionally invested in their chaos while they sit back and soak up your attention. They don't want solutions. They just want to keep you engaged, reacting, and emotionally involved in their problems. They also drain your energy by being completely unreliable. One moment they act like your best friend, and the next they're cold, distant, or outright hostile. You never know where you stand with them, and that constant emotional whiplash is exhausting. You find yourself walking on eggshells, trying to avoid setting them off, trying to please them just to keep the peace. But no matter what you do, it's never enough. Another way they sap your energy is by making everything more complicated than it needs to be. Instead of handling situations like adults, they overreact, exaggerate, and turn minor issues into massive ordeals. They'll refuse to take responsibility, refuse to let things go, and refuse to handle anything in a mature way. Instead, they drag you into their mess, forcing you to clean it up while they sit back and play the victim. They also have a way of making you feel guilty for setting boundaries. If you try to take a step back, they'll make you feel like a bad person. I guess you don't care about me, they'll say, or I thought you were different. They will frame themselves as the innocent one and you as the selfish one, all because you dared to protect your own energy. They don't see boundaries as healthy, they see them as obstacles to their control. Some of these people aren't even loud about their toxicity. Instead, they drain you through constant passive aggression. They never say what they really mean, but they make sure you feel their disappointment, their resentment, their disapproval. You'll find yourself analyzing their words, trying to figure out what they really meant, constantly wondering if you did something wrong. That mental and emotional stress is just another way they wear you down. The scariest part is that it often happens so gradually that you don't even realize it. At first they seem normal, maybe even fun to be around, but over time you start noticing that you feel worse after interacting with them. Your mood dips, your energy fades, and you find yourself dreading the next conversation. They don't need to yell or insult you outright. Just being in their presence is enough to drain you. Even when they aren't physically around, they take up space in your mind. You find yourself replaying conversations, stressing over what they'll do next, feeling exhausted by their constant need for attention. Your time and mental energy get consumed by them, and the more they take, the less you have for yourself. They never take responsibility. One of the clearest signs of a truly toxic person is their complete inability to take responsibility for their actions. No matter what happens, no matter how obvious their role in a situation is, they will always find a way to shift the blame onto someone else. It's never their fault. There's always an excuse, a justification, or a scapegoat that conveniently absolves them of any wrongdoing. At first, it might seem like they just have a hard time admitting when they're wrong, but it's much deeper than that. These people refuse to take responsibility because accountability threatens their entire sense of control. If they admit fault, they lose power. If they accept blame, they have to acknowledge that they aren't perfect, and that is something they will never allow. They are masters of deflection. If you confront them about something, they won't address the issue directly. Instead, they'll bring up something completely unrelated to turn the focus away from themselves. If you tell them they hurt your feelings, they'll say, well, what about that time you did this? If you call them out on a mistake, they'll suddenly remember every minor mistake you've ever made. It's not about solving the problem, it's about making sure they never have to be the one who's wrong. If they can't shift the blame onto you, they'll find someone else to take the fall. It could be a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. They'll say things like, I only did that because they made me, or I wouldn't have reacted that way if you hadn't pushed me. They twist the situation so that they come out looking innocent, no matter how much damage they've caused. In the rare moments when they can't escape blame, they'll downplay their actions instead. It wasn't that bad. You're overreacting. I didn't mean it like that. They make you feel like you're being too sensitive or dramatic, even when their behavior was objectively wrong. The goal is to make you question your own judgment so they can avoid facing any real consequence. Another way they dodge responsibility is by playing the victim. Even if they are the ones who caused harm, they will somehow flip the situation to make it seem like they are the ones who are wronged. If they lied, it was because they didn't want to hurt you. If they lashed out, it was because they were having a bad day. If they betrayed your trust, it was because you made them feel unappreciated. There's always a reason, an excuse, a way to make you feel like they are the ones who deserve sympathy. They also use their past as a shield against accountability. If you call them out, they'll bring up every hardship they've ever faced to justify their behavior. You don't understand what I've been through. This is just how I am because of my past. I can't help it. While everyone has struggles, these people use theirs as a free pass to treat others poorly without ever having to take responsibility for their actions. When dealing with a person like this, you may find yourself constantly apologizing, even when you did nothing wrong. They are so skilled at turning situations around that you end up feeling guilty instead of them. They make you feel like you're the problem, like you're the one who should be making things right. And the more you take on their responsibility, the less they have to deal with the consequences of their own actions. They don't just avoid responsibility for their mistakes, they avoid it in every area of their life. They won't take responsibility for their emotions, their failures, or their choices. If something goes wrong at work, it's because their boss is unfair. If a relationship ends, it's because the other person was toxic. If they haven't achieved what they want in life, it's because the world is against them. There is always someone else to blame, some external force that keeps them from taking ownership of their own life. They sabotage your success. Toxic people don't just want to succeed, they want to make sure you don't. When they see you growing, improving, or achieving something meaningful, it threatens them. Instead of being happy for you, they feel resentment, jealousy, and a deep need to bring you back down. They will do whatever they can to sabotage your success, whether it's through direct interference, subtle discouragement, or emotional manipulation. At first, they may seem supportive. They'll smile, nod, and act like they're happy for you. But as soon as your success becomes real, their attitude changes. They might start making passive-aggressive comments, questioning whether you really deserve what you've achieved. Must be nice to have things just fall into place for you, they might say, as if your hard work meant nothing. They will downplay your accomplishments and make you feel like what you've done isn't really that impressive. Sometimes their sabotage is more direct. If you're working toward a goal, they'll find ways to distract you, discourage you, or make you doubt yourself. If you're trying to start a new business, they'll tell you it's too risky. If you're going for a promotion, they'll remind you of all the reasons you might not get it. If you're trying to improve yourself, they'll mock you for trying. Why are you even bothering? You really think you can do that? You've never been good at that before. Their words are designed to plant seeds of doubt, to make you question your own ability so that you never even try. They will also try to make you feel guilty for focusing on yourself. If you're spending time working on your goals, they'll accuse you of neglecting them. You don't have time for me anymore. You've changed. You're too busy for the people who actually care about you. They make it seem like your success is harming them, forcing you to choose between your own growth and their approval. If they're in a position to actively interfere with your success, they will. In the workplace, they might spread rumors about you, take credit for your ideas, or create problems that make you look bad. In personal relationships, they might withhold support, refuse to help when you need it, or even create conflicts that drain your energy just when you're about to take a big step forward. One of the most frustrating things about dealing with someone like this is that they often pretend they are trying to help. They'll give you advice that sounds supportive but is actually meant to hold you back. I just don't want you to get hurt, they'll say, or I'm only saying this because I care. But the truth is, they don't want to see you succeed because it makes them feel inferior. Your success is a reminder of what they haven't accomplished, and instead of using that as motivation to improve themselves, they choose to tear you down instead. They also use comparison as a weapon. If you accomplish something, they will immediately bring up someone else who has done better. Oh, you got a promotion? Well, Sarah got one last year and hers came with a bigger raise. They can't let you feel proud of yourself for even a moment. They need to remind you that in their eyes, you will never be good enough. A truly toxic person doesn't just want to succeed on their own terms. They want to make sure you stay below them. As long as you're struggling, as long as you're doubting yourself, as long as you're not living up to your full potential, they feel safe, because the moment you rise above them, the moment you prove to yourself that you are capable, their hold on you starts to weaken, and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that never happens. They manipulate through guilt. Toxic people are masters of using guilt as a tool to control you. They don't ask for things directly. Instead, they make you feel like you owe them. They create a sense of obligation that makes it hard for you to say no, even when you know you should. They remind you of everything they've ever done for you, twisting the narrative so that even the smallest favor seems like a massive debt that you're responsible for repaying. They will guilt you for prioritizing yourself. If you set a boundary, they make you feel like you're being selfish. If you say no to something, they act hurt and disappointed, making you question whether you're a bad person. They'll say things like, I guess I just don't matter to you, or I would have done it for you. They make you feel like your choices are hurting them, even when you're simply doing what's best for yourself. They also use guilt to make you stay in situations that aren't good for you. If you try to walk away from a toxic relationship, they'll remind you of how much they've invested in you. After everything I've done for you, you're just going to leave? They want you to feel like you owe them your loyalty, even when they've done nothing to deserve it. They'll remind you of shared history, past kindness, or even hardships they've gone through, making it seem like leaving them would be an act of betrayal. Another way they manipulate through guilt is by making themselves seem helpless. They will exaggerate their struggles to make you feel responsible for them. I don't know what I'd do without you, they'll say, making it clear that they expect you to keep fixing their problems. They'll act like they can't function without your help, like you're the only one who understands them. They create this dynamic where you feel obligated to always be there for them, even when it drains you. They enjoy watching others suffer. One of the darkest traits of truly evil people is that they enjoy seeing others in pain. While most people feel empathy when they see someone struggling, these people feel something entirely different: satisfaction. They take pleasure in seeing others suffer. Whether it's emotional distress, failure, or humiliation, they don't just tolerate it, they thrive on it. They might not always be obvious about it. Some will disguise their enjoyment as concern, pretending to be sympathetic while secretly relishing your struggles. They'll say things like, wow, that's really tough, but there's no real warmth in their voice. Instead, there's a hint of amusement, a slight smirk, a sense that they like seeing you down. They aren't sad that you're struggling, they are entertained by it. Others are more blatant. They will go out of their way to create situations where others suffer just so they can watch the fallout. They stir up drama, spread lies, and manipulate people into conflict. Then they sit back and enjoy the show. They love chaos because it gives them a sense of power. Seeing others in pain makes them feel in control, like they're the puppet master pulling the strings while everyone else dances to their tune. They also enjoy making people feel small. They will mock, belittle, and humiliate others, disguising it as just a joke so they can get away with it. If someone gets upset, they act like it's their fault for being too sensitive. Come on, it was just a joke, they'll say. But the truth is, they knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't joking. They were enjoying the fact that they made someone feel bad. They also take pleasure in watching people fail. Instead of supporting others, they secretly hope for their downfall. If someone is doing well, they feel jealous and resentful. But if someone stumbles, if they lose their job, go through a breakup, or face some kind of hardship, suddenly the toxic person is very interested. They might act like they're being supportive, but underneath it all, they love seeing someone else struggle. It makes them feel superior, like they're winning while others are losing. In some cases, they will actively sabotage people just to watch them fail. They'll spread rumors, withhold important information, or manipulate situations to make sure someone doesn't succeed. And when things go wrong, they'll pretend to be innocent, acting like they had nothing to do with it. But deep down, they enjoyed every second of it. Even in their personal relationships, they seek control through suffering. They might play mind games, give the silent treatment, or use emotional withdrawal as a way to make others feel desperate for their approval. They get a twisted sense of satisfaction from watching people beg for their attention or struggle to understand what they did wrong. It's not about resolving conflict, it's about power. They also take joy in breaking people emotionally. If they see someone confident and happy, they'll look for ways to tear them down. They'll criticize, undermine, and plant doubts in their mind until that person starts questioning themselves. They want to see others insecure, unsure, and dependent on their validation. Because as long as someone is broken, they are easier to control. What makes them especially dangerous is that they don't feel remorse. Normal people might say something hurtful in the heat of the moment, then feel bad about it afterward. But these people don't. They feel no guilt, no regret, no second thoughts. In fact, if they see that they've hurt someone, it often makes them feel even better. They feed off pain, and the more they can cause, the more powerful they feel. These people will never change because they don't want to. They don't see anything wrong with their behavior. If anything, they see kindness, empathy, and compassion as weaknesses. They view life as a game, one where the only way to win is to make sure others lose. And as long as they can keep hurting, controlling, and manipulating people, they feel like they are winning. And that's the real secret. They need you more than you need them. They have to manipulate, control, and tear others down because deep inside, they are weak. They don't build, they destroy. They don't give, they take. But the moment you recognize them, the moment you see the game they're playing, you take away their biggest weapon, your ignorance. No more guilt, no more second guessing, no more letting them control your emotions, your confidence, or your life. You owe them nothing. The only thing you owe yourself is the courage to walk away. And if this message hit home for you, if you know someone who needs to hear this today, share this with them. Because knowledge is power, and together we are building a life where no one gets to keep us small. This is Tony Robbins' track. Keep moving forward, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.